身に覚えのない星に願い打つ踏み外したらバツバツバツワンツーでチューブラリン
Hello everyone. Today we'll be unboxing another figurine for the week. Here we have is a figurine for the manufacturer and distributor, Good Smile Company. A figurine part of their pop-up parade line is a PVC figure of the character Kuze, Shizuka and Takopii from the series Takopi no Genzai, or Takopi's Original Sin. As always, before we take the figurine out of its packaging, just in case you didn't know, Takopi no Genzai, or Takopi's Original Sin, is a web manga serialized and published in Shueisha Shonen Jump Plus in 2021, written by the mangaka Taizan or Taizan 5, who's also worked on other series like Ichinose Ie no Taizai in 2022, and one-shots like Hanareta Futari in 2024, Kiso Shitai Otoko in 2021, and others. The series has gotten an anime adaptation having the same name, Takopi no Genzai, in 2025, consisting of 6 episodes by Studios Enisha. So here we have is Shizuka and Takopii having an additional 3 Takopi figures alongside with Shizuka. So, without holding you guys back, let's just take Shizuka and Takopii out of their packaging and see how the figurine looks. So as you can see here we have is Shizuka and Takopii, as you can see here, wrapped with plastic to protect the figurine. And just like I stated before, there is an additional 3 Takopiis that can also be displayed with different emotions. Let's just move on and take everything out of the box. So here we have is the base. So just like every other pop-up parade, there's nothing really too special. It is a little bit of translucence towards the middle section, and at the bottom here it does have information such as the manga cut and other info. But besides that, it's just a plain black matted finished base. So let's just move on to the actual figurine. So here we have is Shizuka and Takopii. So we're gonna start here from the bottom of her shoe area. You can kind of see there's 3 pegs that go onto the base, and you can kind of see here her shoes are actually quite detailed. It kind of gives you the representation of her, dirty and grimy self, because she's getting bullied by Marina, which is a little sad. But yeah, you can kind of see here it's not as detailed, but the griminess of the shoe with the dirt around it, I think it really captures the dirtiness of the shoe. So here going up her legs, it's just regular flesh color, nothing really too detailed, but I think they sculpted the legs quite nicely. Here we have is her little shorts here, and they gave it a little bit of crease lines, not really that noticeable, but you can kind of see they did add a little bit of fabric folds around it. And here's another shot here of her shirt. So here you can see her shorts go into, or her shirt overlaps her short, because the shirt is a little bit longer. Here we have is her backpack strap, which is actually a little bit flexible, which is pretty nice touch. Here we see is a closer shot of the bottom of her backpack, and I did notice that the figure is not the best painted, but because of the not as detailed painted, you can kind of, from a distance, it actually looks quite detailed. Here's the other strap, which again is also flexible, but try to not flex it too much because I feel like you could break it. Here we have is the front of the shirt here, where you can see that she also has a little bit of fabric fold, which is actually a little detailed here, and you can see her arm is grabbing onto her backpack here. And here's the side here where you can kind of see, you can see the part where they glued the hand there, but it's not as bad as how I'm saying it. But here's the top portion of her backpack, which you can kind of see here. It's actually not the best painted, but I think they try to capture the grimy, kind of dirty feel that the character had, in the show, because, she didn't live in the best household. Here on this side, you can see the top straps of her backpacks on her shoulder there, and we also get a little Takopi on the side here. But Takopi is attached to the figurine, so you can't detach it. You can kind of see like a small hole of a peg there that's connected to Shizuka. Here's her right hand, and you can kind of see here's a little Takopi with a little expression there, like of a neutral look, which is kind of cute actually. But you can't remove that. So here we have is Shizuka's face. Again, they did a pretty nice job on the face here. I think they really captured her neutral expression, but maybe they could have added her, made her a little bit more detailed. But it's still a pretty nice face here. You can kind of see the eyes are painted quite well. A little bit of detail there where you see the pupils, and we do have is her eyebrows. You kind of see her bangs are covering a little bit of her forehead, and it's actually quite nice. Here in this head sculpt here is not as detailed. The only additional detail you do get is the front flicked around, and at the back here we do get somewhat of a little detail here at the ends of each of the hair, but it's not as detailed towards the top, so it's like flat with a little bit of hair lines at the end. And I noticed that this side here has actually a line on her hair, which I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be like maybe an error on the figurine, but again, these are all hand painted, so maybe it's just my figurine that has that line. But yeah, you can kind of see the hair going around it where they attached both hair pieces together. But besides that, it's actually a pretty nice figurine. I kind of really do like this, and it kind of, is a great representation of the character. Well, in her neutral stage, I guess you can say, but it's pretty nice. So let's just connect it to her base. So here we have is the first Takopi here. You can kind of see he has more his eyes closed, he's bouncing around telling Shizuka, things to try to make her happy. And it's not much detail to it. It's basically just a little Takopi with his little tentacles on the bottom here. Here we have is the other Takopi where he's trying to be happy, because he's trying to make Shizuka feel happy. And it's again not as detailed. It's a little bit grimy here at the bottom, but it's not that much of a deal for me. And here is the other Takopi, which is a little bit of a crying Takopi. I'm sorry. It's again just like every other figurine. It's not as detailed, but it's still actually a pretty cute little figurine. So like I said, it's a set of 3. You get 3 emotions with the Takopi. They don't connect to the actual base or anywhere with Shizuka, but can be placed in front of it to make a little, diorama with 3 little Takopis, including the one that's on her shoulder. Alright guys, so that was Good Smile Company's pop-up parade PVC figure of the character Shizuka and Takopii from the series Takopi no Genzai, or Takopi's Original Sin. So all in all, I gotta say is I believe this is the only figurine of the series that they have is this pop-up parade. Besides the soft vinyl Takopis that are released, this is actually an older figurine that came out I think in 2023, but hopefully they release another figurine with maybe more of the characters. With that being said, the series is actually a really great series. I really love it, and honestly I feel like everyone's at fault in the show when it comes to the parents and it comes to the children, because I know the kids shouldn't be reacting how they reacted in the show, so I can't really say they're as innocent as for being children. But again, they are kids, so it's understandable for them to be acting the way they act. But because of their parents, everyone I feel like is, should be accountable for what they do. I think the part that really made me the most emotional in this show was that towards the ending with Takopi and what he did. That actually made me a little emotional, and I think it also got other people emotional. What actually hit me was the little drawing. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But all in all, I gotta say is I really like this figurine, and I really do love the show and also the manga. So if you have not checked it out, I highly recommend it. I know it's not for everyone, but for those who are interested, I recommend it. So that's gonna be the end of this one, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll leave you guys off with the figurine rotating in 360 and other angles of the figurine. Highly recommend this series, and as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
ほらね、元通りだよ。相変わらず君がなぞるガラスの線。ほらね、元通りだよ。バラバラもいつの日か始めまして、僕が台無しにした光かけた肌で君を歪めるプリズム。誰も気づかない何も聞こえないいっそとかしてしまえば楽なのにまだ何度も何度も繰り返す何度も破片をつないでゆく何度も何度も繰り返す感動も再度も鈍らせて元通りだよ。相変わらず君がなぞるガラスの線。ほらね、元通りだよ。バラバラもいつの日かわか